Good morning, friends. Today we are going to study the chapter that is light. Now, what is light? So, we'll try to understand first what is light and what does light do. So, based on the experiences and observation, we can define light as first of all a form of energy. So remember, light is a form of energy. Okay, this is a new definition. I'm telling you by the different observations and experiences we have seen. Light is a form of energy which gives us a sensation of vision. What does sensation of vision mean? Sensation of vision means you are able to see something because of light. So light gives us a sensation of vision. Now why it is very important is because many animals, including we humans, we see with our eyes. So almost all the species have eyes. Some insects may not have. But when you talk about snakes, okay, reptiles, there are some reptiles like snakes, even they have eyes. But the way they see things is not because of the sensation of light. It is not because of the energy called light. Snakes have a forked tongue. If you have seen, and the tongue is always rolling outside. The tongue has got heat sensors. So if you have seen National Geographic and Discovery, any episode on snakes, you will find that they will see things, yes, in the infrared region. For things they are yellow in shape, red in shape, green in shape. Based on the heat, they get a slight feature or the figure of the animal they are pursuing. But if you talk about humans and other animals, then we see things of different colors. You can see this blue color, you can see this red color, you can see this black color. So all these colors that you can see is because of something called light. Now, when we talk of light and when we talk of colors also, colors is a very small portion of the electromagnetic spectrum. We'll do it further in the next chapters or next lectures, but right now, light is a form of energy which gives us a sensation of vision. So we see with our eyes, we'll do in the future lectures eyes also, but right now light, a form of energy which gives us a sensation of vision. Now, what does light do? So first we have to understand why light is necessary for vision. So say you are in a dark room. When you are in a dark room, can you see anything at all? No. So in the dark room, why we cannot see anything? So you will say, because it is dark. Yes. But what does darkness mean? There is no energy reaching your eyes. You see with your eyes, the sensation of vision is because of your eye, the structure of your eye. So human evolution has given a different structure to the human eye. Okay, you have done the chapter Hereditary Evolution and you must have learned what is evolution. Series of years, yes, the development of a species we term as evolution. So humans have got a sensation of vision. So in a dark room we cannot see anything because our eyes are not in an excited state. Now what brings the eyes in the excited state is light. So in a dark room, nothing is coming to your eyes, so your eye is not in an excited state. Now, where there is sunlight or you switch on the light, then the form of energy reaches your eyes. Now when you talk of light as a form of energy, then there are two things you need to remember. Yes, a source of light and an object. So you can see both things. If you look around, if you look at the sun, then the sun is a source of light because it has got light of its own. So sun is a natural source of light. If you talk of stars, then stars also have light of their own. So they are sources of light. A candle flame a tube light, a bulb, they are all sources of light. Even your mobile screen. Now you are studying online on maybe a PC or a mobile, then your PC screen, your mobile screen is also a source of light. Yes, it is giving out an energy which is reaching your eyes and you can see the objects on the screen. So we can see the sources of light directly because they have got energy which reaches your eyes. But have you seen objects which are not sources of light? So next question is, you can see this board, yes, and you can see what I have written on the board. Now this is not a source of light. It does not have any lights of its own. Like the moon and the planets do not have any lights of its own, in the same way this board does not have any lights of its own. Yet you can see what I have written on the board in different colors. So when you turn on the light or during the day, the source of light hits an object. Okay? Light falls on an object. Now, when light falls on an object, yes, then three things are possible. When light falls on an object, three things are possible. Light is hit back, or we can say reflected. So when light falls on an object, it is coming back, hit back, or we can say the word reflection. It is absorbed, means taken in by the object, or it is transmitted, means the object allows it to go. So there can be absorption, there can be transmission. Transmission means what? Suppose you take a glass, light falls on a glass and it passes through the glass and goes on. So that is transmission. If light is taken by an object, it is called absorption. And when it is reflected, hit back and comes back, then we can say, we can use the word hit back or reflection. Okay? So three possibilities are there. And depending on these three possibilities is the way how you will see the world. You will see the world because of light, a form of energy which gives us the sensation of vision. Light is a form of energy which is giving a sensation of vision. But light can be a source of light. Now, when we say source of light, what does it mean? There are stars almost 700 light years away from the earth. Now, what does 700 light years mean? The amount of light, what is the speed of light? Okay. So, we'll go to one more topic and see the speed of light. It is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. Or we can say the speed of light is 3 lakh kilometer per second. Now something else, but understand light. Experimental is an approximate, sorry, I've done 30,000. It is not 30,000, it is 3 lakh. Speed of light is 3 lakh kilometer per second. You multiply it by 60. Multiply this by 60. So how much kilometer? That much light travels in 1 minute. Multiply by 60. So you will find how much light travels, how much kilometer travels in 1 hour. Multiply this total by 24. So you will find how much light travels in 1 day. And multiply this by 365. So you will get an idea how much light travels in 1 year. Now stars, some stars are very massive but 700 light years away from the earth, and still you can see that star. It is a source of light. Means it is sending us light from 700 light years far away. It is sending to us. When it reaches our eye, we will be able to see the star. But if you will understand, then when you see a star in the sky, that may not be the present position of the star. Because by the time the light has reached your eye, the star may be dead, okay, or the galaxy has moved. So when you see the stars in the sky, those things which you see depend upon what? When they gave out the light. So source of light is just an explanation. I just diverted the topic. Let us come back to the main thing. Light. is a form of energy which gives us a sensation of vision. So sources of light, the tube light, the sun, the stars, the bulb, the candle flame, neon lights, mobile screen, computer screen, you will see directly because they give us energy which excites the cells in our eyes. We'll do that later on, which gives us a sensation of vision, and we see different colors. But the other objects that we see which are not sources of light, we can see, but there are three phenomena possible. When light falls on an object, either the light is reflected, absorbed, transmitted, or there can be a combination. Means when light falls on the object, some of the light is absorbed, some is reflected, some is transmitted. So we see the world in different colors because of mixture of three things. Okay? Now we'll understand what is light later on. But you should know the different patterns we see in the world. All that we have observed so far, by experiments we have come to know that the things that we see is because of a combination of these three. Some part of the light is transmitted, some is absorbed, and some is reflected. The amount or the variation happens depending upon the type of object. Okay? So I hope this is clear to you till here. You can rewind and see one more time. Again, what is light? Light is a form of energy which gives a sensation of vision. So from time immemorial, people have been seeing things, observing things, trying to explain things. Okay? So we have got a very good vision. We see things around us. We try to understand things. So based on what we saw and what we observed, there were theories given about light. Okay, so this is what we have done. So let us see the basic theories of light now. So based on the observations of light, let us talk about the first phenomena called reflection. Okay. Now, when people were seeing things, yes, so there is something you have to see in a deeper prospect is the evolution of man, Neanderthals, Homo erectus, Homo sapiens, they all the animals and humans can see. Now, we know what is reflection. Maybe the animals may understand or not understand their own reflection, but we humans can understand our reflection. We know we can see our reflection in a mirror. Okay. Now in earlier days there were no mirrors. But where did people see the reflection? So if you have been observing some movies, very old mythological movies, then they keep a large vessel of water. And when the water is still, it can act like a mirror. You can see your own reflection in the water. So they fill a vessel with water and the water is still. When the water is still, you can see your reflection in the water. Now that depends upon how you position yourself. Sometimes you can see the bottom of the vessel because light is, when the water is transparent, then you will see the bottom of the vessel. But positioned properly, you can see your own reflection in the vessel. So people saw that you can see your own reflection in certain things. Romans had a technique and the Egyptians also to make polished mirrors. So they made mirrors so they can see their own images in the mirrors. So that is called reflection. So we will try to understand what is reflection. So we can say reflection. When does reflection occur? When light falls on any object. Yes, light falls on any object and it is thrown back in the same medium. Means light is coming and falling on this board. Okay? And if the board throws the light back in the same medium, we can say it is the phenomenon of reflection. So when light is hitting an object and thrown back in the same medium, it is called reflection. Okay? Now this reflection may vary according to the object. Means if you have got a polished mirror or polished silver, okay, or steel, depending upon how much is the polish and how much light is reflected, you will see the phenomenon. Now, why I am expanding on reflection is because although objects you see around yourself is because of reflection. I just explained. In a dark room, you can see nothing. In a dark room, why you cannot see anything? Because there is no form of energy which can give a sensation to our eyes, the sensation of vision. So when you put on the light or when there is sunlight, there is a form of energy which falls on an object. Okay? But you can see this color is black, this color is blue, the board is white. Look around yourselves, you will see different colors. Now when you can see the object means what? The object has reflected some light which is reaching your eyes and so you can see the object. So that is also reflection. Okay? But when you see an object, say the chair, the curtain, the bed, the table, the chair, and when you see a polished mirror, there is a difference in the reflection. Not the difference in the phenomenon of reflection, but the amount of light reflected. In a polished mirror, almost the 100% light is reflected back. It is not actually 100, a little lesser, but you can say in a polished surface, 100% light is reflected back, so you can see your own image. And in the other objects, light is coming to your eyes, but it is not reflected fully. So you cannot see your own image. Okay? So that depends upon how much amount of light is reflected. Now, the phenomenon of reflection was explained. Okay? We saw what is reflection. You can see your own image. You can see the object. Now the phenomenon of reflection has to be explained. For that, a theory was given. Yes, theory. What was the theory given? Light travels in a straight line. The theory was given that light travels in a straight line. And with this theory, reflection could be explained very, very easily. Then the next phenomenon was observed refraction. So again, taking this theory into consideration, light travels in a straight line, reflection also could be explained. Then people observed something called diffraction. This you will study in higher standards. Diffraction was observed. But diffraction could not be explained on the terms that light travels in a straight line. But when they assume light travels as a wave. Now what is a wave? We will do in the further chapters. When it was seen that light travels as a wave, phenomena like diffraction and interference could be explained. So I am using these words here just for the sake of knowledge, but this will be in the future chapters. Then there was also polarization, which is another phenomenon of light. Then we have the piezoelectric effect. Piezoelectric effect not piezo. Piezoelectric is because of pressure, but there are other phenomenon. It was not the piezoelectric, it is the photoelectric effect. You will learn about this later on. In the photoelectric effect, we consider light to be small particles called photons. And this is a wave. Now, the difference between wave and photons will come in future chapters, but just to brief, wave is a form of energy and photons are particles, but they are also energy particles without having any mass. But you can see here, light is showing us different kind of phenomenon. And a different kind of phenomenon, the first explanation was given by considering light travels in a straight line. Later on, to explain this, a new theory was given that light travels as a wave. To explain photoelectric effect, it was shown light are small particles called photons. Today, the nature of light is called dual nature. Light is both a wave and a particle. But that is for the future chapters. Right now, we have to only look into reflection and refraction, and that light travels in a straight line. So all this phenomenon is for the future, but remember, this is a theory. Light is both a wave and a particle, but for this standard right now, we are going to learn reflection, refraction, considering light travels in a straight line. Okay? So all clear till here? Now we go into some of the definitions. You must have done it before, but for the sake of revision. Say we have a polished object with a smooth side and a rough side. Okay? A ray of light. Now we are considering that light travels in a straight line. So the ray of light which falls on the polished surface is called the incident ray. You must have learned it before. The point at which, I am calling it P, the point at which the light hits the reflected object is called point of incidence. Now we told you what is reflection. After hitting a polished surface, light is thrown back in the same medium. This is called the reflected ray. Okay? So we got an incident ray which is falling on a mirror. We got a point of incidence, the point where the light falls or hits the mirror. And after hitting, it is thrown back in the same medium called the reflected ray. Okay? Now, at this point of incidence, perpendicular to the mirror, we draw a perpendicular line at 90 degree, which is called the norm. Now, you have to draw a straight line. It's not straight, a straight line drawn at the point of incidence perpendicular to the mirror. It is called the normal. The angle between normal and incident ray is called the angle of incidence I. I is angle of incidence. Call it angle. And the angle between the normal and the reflected ray is called R, angle R, the angle of reflection. Now, all the observations and experiments have shown us that always angle I equal to angle R. So we've got two laws of reflection. Two laws of reflection. So first understand the laws of reflection. The incident ray, the normal ray and the reflected ray lie on the same plane. Rule number one, law number one. The incident ray, the normal and the reflected ray lie on the same plane. So here you can see I have drawn all three on the board. Are you following? For example, this is the incident ray. This is the incident ray. This is the normal. Then this cannot be the reflected ray. You can see these two are on the board in the same plane and this is not on the plane. But I can have all three like this. Now they are in the same plane. They are in the same plane. In the same plane. But I cannot have two on the board and one coming out like this. This is not true. The incident ray, the normal and the reflected ray always lie on the same plane. So to understand this, we can show a small demonstration. So this is a book. Okay, this book you can see. The incident ray, normal and the reflected ray lie on the same plane. Now, this page I can turn the way I want. Either, even if I keep it like this, then still I can have the incident ray, the normal and the reflected ray on the same plane. Are you following? So you can have any angle that you want, but the incident ray, the normal and the reflected ray lie on the same plane. And second very important law, the angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. So these are the two main laws for reflection. One, incident ray, normal and reflected ray lie on the same plane. And two, the angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. So I hope this is clear till here. Okay. Now we'll see something according to the surfaces. So let us say we have got a smooth polished surface. Okay, and we have got an irregular surface. Now we will draw incident rays which are parallel to each other. Okay. Now we'll draw the normals. How we draw the normal? Perpendicular to the surface. So here, normal 1, normal 2, normal 3. Because this is a polished surface and these are normals at 90° perpendicular, all the normals are also parallel. Now here if I want to draw the normal, you can see this part here, the line is like this. So the normal will go like this at 90°. Because the surface is like this. Here, the surface is like this. The normal will go like this. Normal, and this one is like this. So, the normal goes like this. So, in a polished surface, the normals are also parallel. Here the normals, what are normals means at the point of incidence at 90° perpendicular, we draw them. So, I drew the true normals. Now, what is the rule of reflection? Angle of incidence equal to angle of reflection. So here, this will go like this, reflected ray. Because of angle of incidence, angle of reflection is equal. Here, this will go like this. And this will go like this. So what do you observe? In a polished surface, the incident angles, sorry not the incident angles, the incident rays are parallel. Then, the reflected rays are also parallel in a polished surface. This is called regular reflection. You must have done this in earlier classes, and this is for revision sake. Here this is an irregular surface. But again, the rule holds true. Which rule? Angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. So here, angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. They both are equal. Here, again, angle of incidence equal to angle of reflection. Here, angle of incidence equal to angle of reflection. But what did you see here? Here, the incident rays are parallel, but reflected rays are not parallel. This is irregular or diffused reflection. So this is called regular reflection. The incident rays are parallel, reflected rays are also parallel, and this is irregular or diffused. Incident rays are parallel, but reflected rays are not parallel. And why you can see the normals are not parallel. Here the normals are at 90°. Here the surface, whatever the surface, here it went like this. At 90° you draw the normals, but in both the cases what did you see? The incident ray, the normal, the reflected ray lie on the same plane. Even here, the incident ray, the normal, the reflected ray lie on the same plane. And angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection in all the cases. Okay. Now what happens in regular reflection? When 100% light is reflected, regular reflection, say a mirror. Okay, suppose you're standing in front of the mirror, which is a very, very clean mirror. Then you will see all the images in the mirror, but you will not see the mirror itself. In regular reflection, you cannot see the polished surface. And if you follow what I am saying, you can try it at home. If you have got a very polished mirror, a very shiny polished mirror which reflects all the light, then you will see all the images in the mirror, but you cannot see the mirror. Okay? But when there is some dust on the mirror, when there is some dust on the mirror, then the dust will do what? Diffuse reflection. Then you will be able to see the mirror. So in regular reflection, you cannot see the polished surface. In an irregular, you can see the object or even the polished surface. So what happens? When there is dust on the mirror or something which is not fully polished, it gives rise to irregular or diffuse reflection. and you can see the object. So in regular reflection you cannot see the polished surface. In irregular or diffused you will be able to see the polished surface. Okay? So I hope things have to be clear till here now. Lecture number 1 is only an introduction. We have to yet start working on our further phenomenon. But the first thing is what? What is light? Light is a form of energy which gives us a sensation of vision. Okay? And light gives us phenomena like reflection, refraction, interference, diffraction, photoelectric effect. But here we are going to consider light travels in a straight line. It is an old theory, but the theory is enough to explain reflection and refraction. So we are going to learn and consider just now that light travels in a straight line. So I am going to end this lecture here, okay? And we'll do the further things in the next lecture.